Thank you, sir, for joining me today.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. So if you can open up with your name, your age, and a little of your professional history.
Name's Rob, 45. I've been working in a brewery for almost 20 years now.
Oh, wow.
It sounds weird to say that number, 20 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, 20 years in the brewery, and before that it was just little odd jobs here and there.
Yeah. So you're a brewer. You're a beer guy, right? Is that your?
It's the worst part about it is
Yeah.
I'm not really a big beer guy.
Yeah.
Because I'm now second generation. My dad worked there for 30 years.
Oh, cool.
So beer itself has lost its love on me now. Now I'd rather stick to distilleries.
Yeah.
Just because I just don't find beer that
Yeah.
enjoyable anymore.
Yeah, but you're in there. You're in the industry.
Yeah.
Essentially. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you could maybe take me back and kind of start at the beginning of kind of how you might have ended up here at the Herb Clinic with us. So what originally, what type of ailments have you been treating kind of throughout your life, or what kind of medical issues are you dealing with?
Well, what brought me here is just because of my job for the last 20 years, and even prior to that, I've always been a night owl.
Yeah.
I don't seem to function very well during the day. The night is my peacetime. I can function better. So when it comes to actually trying to be in society and be awake during the day, I can't do it. My anxiety goes through the roof. I can't sleep at night.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't work for me. I've tried different types of sleeping aids, both prescription or just over the counter. I just don't feel comfortable on it. I'm always in a kind of a haze. And when you're dealing with small children, like I have, I can't be like that. So I needed something to help me try to regulate my sleep patterns.
Mm-hmm.
And this seems to be the best way to go about it.
Okay.
No ill effects after the fact. I can get actually a decent sleep.
Yeah.
And I'm not feeling weird afterwards.
So basically, you engaged in the medical system originally for a sleep aid more than anything.
Yeah, and sleep aid and to help anxiety. Like I said, it just helps the squirrel calm itself down for a little while.
So how long ago? When did you try your original form of treatment? How long ago was that?
You mean through a doctor?
Through
pharmaceutical.
Yeah,
or,
when did you first try a pharmaceutical?
That was probably about 5 or 6 years ago. I tried that.
Yeah.
And that lasted for about a year.
Yeah.
And that's when I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm not right.
Yeah.
And so I talked to Bryce, and he pointed me in this direction, and it's been perfect ever since.
Yeah. So take me through that year. So what happened? Had you been dealing with this lack of sleep for a long time, or did you, at the beginning of the year when you went to the doctor and said, "Hey, doctor, I need something to help me sleep"? What was going on there? What drove you originally in for some support?
Well, like I mentioned, because of my style of work, I do a lot of shift work. So I'm constantly balanced. 1 week I'll be working night shift, 1 week I'll be working day shift, next week will be afternoon. So my sleep pattern is just all over the map. And when you're forcing yourself to try to fall asleep in a very short amount of time, it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, when you have to deal with small children in the morning, get them up, dressed, get them off to school,
Yeah.
but yet you haven't slept yet for the last 16 hours,
Yeah.
and now you have to take a sleep aid that they say is going to knock you out for 8+ hours. Like, well, I don't have that 8 hours where I can do that because, well, the child's going to be home in 6 or 7. So it's like, I can't do this.
So you would take the sleep aid. So during the year you were taking the sleep aids, and how many kids do you have, by the way?
Well, I have 2. One is an adult, and another one is 9 years old.
Yeah. So you would so you started engaging with the sleep aid, and you were taking it. So would you take it, and then it sounds like you would take it, but it would have a longer effect than what you were actually sleeping?
Exactly. So when I would always have to have 2 alarms set to make sure that I'm waking up, and when I did wake up, my head was in a cloud. I wasn't focused. There'd be a lot of times where it almost seemed like I was not really living my life, but I was more watching it instead of actually being there because of the cloudiness that the pills were giving me.
Yeah. So it was hazy. You're in a bit of a haze. Did your family notice this as well? Or?
Yeah, my wife noticed it.
Yeah.
She definitely said that there was something not quite right, and we didn't really know what caused it or what the real problem was. We just knew that something wasn't right. So, like so many people out there that are on a lot of different types of medications, they'd be like, I don't know what's going on. I'm taking things the way I'm supposed to. The doctor gave me this. This is the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah. So you weren't blaming the medication necessarily?
No, not necessarily. It wasn't right for me.
Yeah.
Now, again, it can work for somebody else under different circumstances. But my circumstances dictated that this was not working for me.
Yeah.
It didn't help anything for anxiety. It didn't help for anything else.
So when you so how long have you been taking a medical cannabis treatment?
About 2 years now.
2 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So there's a gap there. So
Yeah.
there was you tried that. You tried something for a year. You got off that, and then there was a bit of a gap with anything. It sounds like.
Yeah,
and
I just
then
stopped.
You just stopped. You stopped. You'd rather deal with the lack of sleep off of a prescription drug. So then what? So you talk to somebody. They you obviously let them know what your sleeping issues were, and then they suggested that maybe you give medical cannabis a shot. So what did you think at that time, or were you was it a no-brainer for you to engage and try cannabis? Did you have to think about it? Like, what was your own process? What was your process there?
It was a long time in the works on that one because, given my age, like so many young people out there, I had a really bad drug and alcohol addiction in my teens.
Yeah.
I ended up being homeless. I lost everything because of it. So when I finally got clean, I swore off everything, and I was almost an advocate for against any kind of use,
cannabis
whatsoever.
included.
Yeah,
Cannabis
anything.
included. Congratulations for your...
I kept going and trying to raise my oldest son.
Yeah.
I kept trying to warn him of the dangers of it. And the same thing that was always pumped into my head from my parents, like, don't do this, it'll lead to this and this and this.
Yeah.
You're just going to make nothing of your life because of these reasons.
Yeah.
And as time kept, because I still had that stigma in the back of my head of, I don't want to do this because of where it took me.
Yeah.
And again, that was also just being young and irresponsible and trying to live up to something that I didn't understand. As I got older and things got a little bit better, I got introduced to this again, or it got brought up to me, and I figured, I remember back when I was younger how it made me feel, and it always kind of helped me calm down. It helped me sleep. And I'm like, well, let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
But I had a big, long talk, multiple talks with my wife because we were so against it. Because, well, we're trying to be the perfect parents and say, don't do this, don't do that. And so it was really hard for us to allow me to go back on all that, to almost be that hypocrite.
Yeah.
And that's the hardest part. I had to have a very long discussion with my son to say,
Before
I even started.
Before you tried medical cannabis.
Because
this was a big
well, I don't keep secrets from my family.
Yeah.
So it's like I have to let you know what Dad is about to do.
This was a family decision for you to try this alternative to a prescription drug.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So we went through every step, and again, because he's now at the age of being an adult, he understands things a little bit better. Yeah, he gave me the ribbing that I deserved. Like, oh, Dad, the hypocrite. And I'll take it.
He didn't
I'll
let
take
you
it.
off.
No, and again, I fully deserved it. It's like, for years and years and years, I kept on him because that's what society tells me I'm supposed to, as a parent, make sure your kids don't do this. So I did that role. But then after a while, it's like, no, I'm going to give this a shot, see if it works. If it doesn't work, then I'll go try something else. I'll make some other adjustments in life for something. Yeah. But I got to give it a shot. Yeah. So I talked to my personal doctor about it afterwards.
And how did that go?
That conversation was a very interesting one.
Yeah.
Because it's not that he's against it. He's a very neutral party on it. He didn't go for it. He didn't go against it. But when I told him what I was doing and why I was doing it, he goes, I have 3 colleagues that I would love to have you sit down and talk with because they're doing studies that completely contradict your results. They flat out say that marijuana will alter your pathways. They will make you more of an insomniac. It's worse for you than taking pills. I'm like, well, of course they're going to say that because that's their job. That's their mandate. Now, whether or not it is or not, that's the information that keeps getting pumped through me to us. So I'm like, whatever. If I'm going to have a discussion with them, I can have a discussion. I am fine with that. It's working for me. It may not work for the next person that comes in.
So
the
you
office.
Reported back to him essentially. You've reported. But originally, did you go to him and say, "Hey, I want," before you started trying it, or did you go try it and then report back to him? And
I tried it first, and then I reported back to him.
Yeah.
Because of at that same time, I had a motorcycle accident, so he was taking care of me because of my injuries and every that. And then he'd ask me what kind of pain medications I would need for it, and he'd give me things, and I would take them because, well, I'm a good patient. I will do as my physician advises.
Yeah.
But again, with those, I didn't feel right. I didn't like the feel. Yes, they were masking some of the pain from the injuries, but I didn't like how my head was feeling.
Yeah.
So I would go back to him and I'd say, you know what, it's just not working. I've got this instead. And then that's when our discussion
So you came up with your own solution, went back and said, I've stopped taking this pain. What was the pain medication?
I don't remember it's a giant long name.
Yeah.
I know one of them was, nope, don't got it.
Yeah, they were a couple, but they were pain. You had a couple pain pills essentially.
Yeah.
And then you had devised your own cannabis alternative, and you weren't taking them, and you went back and told them that.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Because of that.
So, I guess take me through that. So just take me through. So you had the family meeting. You got the go ahead. And you had goals coming in when you were engaging with medical cannabis. But walk me through how you engage with it, and then how you treat yourself today. Like how do you manage? Basically, where did you end up at for your self-medicating?
Well, for that, it's purely just to help me fall asleep. So I don't need to medicate at all during the day because, I'm awake during the day. I'm living a normal life. Everything's fine. And usually after my youngest son goes to bed, that's when I will grab my medicine, medicate, and usually within an hour and a half, I'm ready to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And it helps me fall asleep. The hardest part was about 3, maybe 4 hours into my sleep, I'd wake up.
Okay.
And then it's like, you just got your full night's sleep, now you need to wake up. But you look at the clock and it's 2 o'clock in the morning. And you're like, no, it's not enough. I need to sleep more.
Yeah.
So that's when I would start splitting from the plant-based to help me go to sleep.
Yeah.
But then I would supplement it with some oil that would kick in after, so therefore I'd be able to sleep longer.
Okay.
So I'd still get a full night's sleep.
Yeah.
I'd be able to wake up in the morning, and I would feel great.
So how did you figure that out? So first you started, were you vaping?
I was
cannabis?
vaping.
Okay,
yeah.
so when you first engaged with cannabis, you were vaping, and then how long did the 4-hour nights go on before you decided to add in the oil?
Quite a long time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because for the longest time, when I'd wake up, I would just fight to go back to sleep.
Yeah.
And I would just sit there and toss and turn. And eventually I'd be waking up my wife, and she'd kick me out of bed because now I'm wrecking her sleep.
Yeah.
So it's like, no.
Yeah.
So I'd end up on the couch watching TV or movies all night.
Yeah.
So it never got really better until I came back and I talked to the people here at the herb clinic.
Yeah.
And that's when they said, okay, well, let's change it up a little bit for you then to make it better. And that's when we devised the plan of vaping to start.
Yeah.
And then right before bed, that's when I would take some oil, and that would help because the oil would kick in a lot later.
So what's your sleep average in today, and how do you feel?
I think I would probably average a good 7 hours of sleep, a nice solid 7 hours.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, doctor recommended 6 to 9, so you're right in the Goldilocks zone.
Yeah, I would go to bed with my wife at night, and most of the time I'd be getting up as she's leaving to go to work in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So it works out just perfectly for me.
So have you noticed any overall life differences since when you finally found that 7 hours? Is there kind of a pre and post kind of life experience for yourself?
Not so much. It's just that now that I have that clarity, it's not a matter. I'm not in a haze. I don't feel odd. I don't have the horrible depression, anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the nice things about it.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the things that I was facing with all these different types of medication, especially just recently, because I had another injury just before Christmas.
How did that happen?
I threw out my back.
Oh, jump.
It was really, really bad. Laid up bedridden for 2 months. I had to learn to walk. I'm still in physio. I had to walk with a cane for weeks. It was bad.
Yeah.
And same thing. Tons of different pills, both pain pills, appetite pills, anti-inflammatories, you name it. I would be taking handfuls.
Yeah. You were given a package.
Yep, pretty much. And after a while, I'm like, I can't do this. The depression was kicking in. My wife was getting really concerned because of the different dreams I was having and the thoughts.
And this is just recently?
This is just recently.
It's just in the last few months?
Yep. And I finally, I had to go back to my doctor and I said, you know what? I can't do this, because every time I'd come in for my checkups, he would say, do you need a refill on your prescription? I'm like, you know what? No, I'm done. And then he would ask me why, and I would tell him, these are the things that are happening to me because of these pills. I have to stop.
And what was his response to that?
He's like, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
And I said, I don't know, but this is not working. So all I did is I would start using my cannabis a little bit more.
Yeah.
Just a little bit earlier on in the night. I would still take Tylenols through the course of the day for the pain, but I wouldn't overly medicate myself with cannabis because I didn't want to start getting drowsy in the middle of the day when I need to deal with my young son.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, this is the best route. And once I did that, things got clearer. I got happier again. My wife got happier because I wasn't in this giant funk.
Yeah.
So it was smooth.
Absolutely. Well, happy wife, happy life. That's
Yep.
the man motto.
Yep.
The husband motto, anyways.
Yes, especially when you're living with a redhead. You definitely got to walk on that.
I'm not going to
line.
make any comments on that. We're on camera. Well, hey, Rob, thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate you sharing your story with us, and other than your ongoing recovery from your back injury, which looks like you're progressing decently with, anyways. I'm glad you found a good solution to have a good night's sleep, because you know as well as I do that's the anchor for everything else, right?
Very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks again.
Again, thank you.